So like the rest of the world, I have been totally transfixed and obsessed with this story about the Thai soccer team that's been stuck in a cave since June 23rd. In case you're the one person who hasn't heard about it, a Thai soccer team, 12 kids aged 11 through 16, went cave exploring with their coach, 25, and they got into the cave system. Apparently, as a result of monsoon rains in the distance, one of the entrance or exit points had become flooded with water, so they could no longer get out of the cave because it had been flooded. I suspect what ended up happening is they went deeper into the cave system thinking they would find another exit, and ended up 4 kilometers into a cave system, perched on a ledge because the rest of the tunnel or portions of it had been flooded with water and they had no way of getting out. This story is purely the stuff of nightmares. I mean, apparently it was so dark in the cave that the human brain was unable to detect if the eyes were open or closed. They were stuck in the cave for 9 days before people even found them or discovered where they were in order to save them. The rescue operation took another 4 days. It took 5 hours for the Navy SEAL to get from the entrance of the cave to where they were located. 5 hours one way, 5 hours the other way. Apparently by the end of the rescue mission, they had gotten so much better that it was taking them 1 or 2 hours less to get out of the cave with the kids than it did with the first batch. The kids came out in groups of 4, 3, and 2, I believe. And, you know, can't forget in all of this that one of the Thai Navy SEALs died during the rescue operation. He was going in and placing canisters of oxygen at various pit stops along the route, so that the kids could get oxygen into their bodies on the way out, and apparently he lost consciousness and drowned. Everything about this story is the stuff of nightmares. I mean, when you see the images of the cave and how apparently at some point they were so narrow that even the rescuers had to take off their scuba gear to fit through. And when they did that, they had to be careful not to snag their bodysuits on the walls of the cave because they could get stuck and die. And then, you know, I was reading, before I even knew how old the coach was, I saw a reporter say, you know, the coach is going to have some questions to answer when he gets out of this cave. You know, they were saying when and if, hopefully touch wood. I was picturing this coach was a middle-aged guy, you know, like 50 years old, maybe should have known better, when I found out that the coach was a 25-year-old kid. And I'm not using the word kid in a condescending or demeaning sense. He's 25 years old. He lacks the life experience that other people would have to even know that this was a potential risk in the first place. You know, and I give him all the benefit of the doubt in the world because I consider myself to be among the most neurotic people in the world who can foresee death at every turn. I am not even sure that until this story I would have ever conceived of the fact that monsoon rains in the distance could flood the entrance of a cave system that I was going into. Now I've learned that the cave system itself was carved as a result of the monsoon rains. The rains would, you know, there would be massive amounts of rain in the distance, and as the water would flow out, it would carve its way through the rocks and create this cavernous system to begin with. So knowing that, it might make sense. I don't know what sort of signage system they had in the front of these caves to indicate that it's a possibility that the way you got in could get flooded based on rains that you don't even see, but, you know, whatever. And the risk in all this story is that people are going to try to blame or go after this 25-year-old kid and say, you know, he should have known better. What the heck was he thinking? There are things that you do in childhood that, but for random strokes of good luck, you don't get punished for beyond your wildest dreams. I think back to my childhood or adolescenthood when I, you know, flipped a car, and but for the fact that I was wearing a seatbelt and things didn't go badly, it could have gone badly to the point where it would have been life-altering bad. I was with my friend on a dirt road on a countryside, quiet road, and I figure I'll show him how we fishtail this car. It was a Suburban, 1996 Suburban, rear-wheel drive, so very easy to fishtail. And, you know, I'm a young kid and having some fun, and we're fishtailing, and the fishtail gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And at one point, I think it's when the car was entirely perpendicular to the road sliding, I realized I have no more control over this situation. It is beyond me. I have gotten myself into something that I am now unable to get out of, and my fate lies with chance. Then we hit a rock, the car starts flipping, and I remember the car's upside down, and I'm staring at my friend, and he's staring at me, and we are just, our hands are off of the situation. There's nothing more we can do to change the outcome, and the outcome, but for the grace of God, was good for me, but things like this happen all the time, and people make stupid decisions and they get punished beyond their wildest dreams. This coach, 25 years old, with a bunch of kids, trying to take them on the time of their lives, exploring caves, couldn't possibly have foreseen that this could happen. And at one point in this magical moment that he was having with his soccer team, they quickly realized that this situation is now out of control, out of his hands, and he realizes that he has made a decision that can possibly cost the lives of the 12 kids that he was guarding, the 12 kids that he loves. I mean, this is, there's no question that there was a friendship, and they were having the time of their lives. There was nobody trying to get anybody in trouble. No one was trying to take reckless chances. This is just a kid who couldn't possibly have foreseen the consequences of what they were getting into. And so I'm worried and reluctant to place any sort of meaningful blame on the kid. I mean, there's no question that he has learned a lesson, but for the grace of God, they all got out. One of the Thai divers died being a hero. But even the parents of these kids are saying, "Don't blame the coach. Don't blame yourself." And that's the attitude that people have to adopt. It's very easy with social media and reflexive condemnation to jump all over this guy, to pounce on him, to want to punish him, to want to draw and quarter him for his sins that could have cost 12 kids their lives and that ultimately cost a diver his life. But everyone who is alive today has done something at one point where it could have gone either way, and the way it went had nothing to do with them. It was just pure dumb luck that they got in trouble, or pure dumb luck that they didn't. The one encouraging thing out of all of this is to see the way that people can actually come together from everywhere in the world. Elon Musk flew down, brought some sort of submarine, brought his engineers, devoted money, time, technology, his know-how, his expertise. These people, these Navy SEALs, risked their lives. The treacherousness of the journey to rescue these kids. 5 hours in, 5 hours out, even for the most highly trained Navy SEALs. I mean, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. But it's amazing that they survived. And I was waiting for this to have a happy ending before jumping into this, because I'm so superstitious. I kind of wait until the kid has graduated from university before congratulating the mother on the birth of her child. It's inspiring to see the world come together. It's nice to see us be able to celebrate good news. Unfortunately, the front pages of all of the MSN is still bad news, garbage, stuff that we don't need to see. But this is just encouraging, mind-blowing, to breathe a sigh of relief. And can you imagine what these kids are going to feel? The breath of fresh air to come out of this claustrophobic, enclosed cave system that they have been in for over 2 weeks. I went to sleepaway camp in the beautiful countryside, and after 2 weeks I missed home. These kids are going to sleep better than they've ever slept before. It's a miracle. I mean, say it's a miracle, but for everyone that didn't have such a happy ending for similar situations, it wasn't a miracle. Life is about haphazard chance. Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't, but we can't sit here and try to punish a 25-year-old kid for having made a decision that had ramifications beyond what he could have ever reasonably expected. So that's it. Amazing. Let's celebrate good news when we can. Peace out.